Hey Cancers, and welcome to your October 2019 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here coming to you. Tonight I am doing a reading at nighttime. I typically read first thing in the morning when I wake up, but the time is coming to get the readings out there, so I am going into the night with your reading. And it feels really good, Cancer. It feels so nocturnally connected. I feel your energy to be just so connected to the moon right now. I mean, it is your ruling body in the sky. You are ruled by the moon. Cancer's all about the moon. I just released an ebook called Moon Symbols, which is also all about the moon. So there's a lot of weird little synchronicities going on today that I did not plan, but are just sort of happening. And I hope that you guys will go and check out Moon Symbols. I'll link that right in the description box below as the top link. I was so blessed to see that hit #1 in new releases. And I just want to say a big thank you to those of you who were able to pre-order it before it came out. But it is releasing on the day that I'm uploading this video, which is September 23rd. So most likely if you're seeing this, it's already out, so you can go and get that. It also has an audiobook version, which hopefully will also be out by the time this reading is up. But, all of that's in the description box below. Everything about private readings, everything about social media, so on and so forth. So I've already pre-shuffled for you for your reading this month, Cancer. I will, of course, cut the cards before we begin. But as I was shuffling, I felt a strong disconnection from insecurity for you. So really overcoming insecurities, really overcoming anything about your body or your personality that you feel is inadequate or not enough. Really just moving past that and starting to introduce things into your life or people into your life that remind you of the good things about you. So are the people in your life building you up or are they pulling you down? I feel like you've got to really make sure that you are listening to positive criticism. So if people are trying to help you by, saying that something is a little bit amiss, that's maybe not so bad. But I do feel like people might be being a bit hard on you, and I think that you really do need to bring that up or create a dialogue if you feel like people are being too hard on you, if you feel like people are not treating you the way you deserve to be treated. That's something that you are going to see a lot of this month if you can't deal with it, is what I was feeling as I was shuffling, that like Cancer will see many reminders of the people in their lives who are not good for them, or many reminders of the people in their life who need to go. So it's not going to be a matter of just like kind of comfortably riding by the seat of your pants and people kind of just naturally going their own way. You do have to get behind it this month. We're in Libra time, which is your fellow cardinal sign, and for Cancer that deals with a lot of direct action and a lot of control and authority issues and things like that, and weighing out what needs to be in my life, what doesn't need to be in my life. That typically tends to be a lot of what Libra time is for a Cancer. And of course we go into Scorpio time at the end of the month, which is a lot more comfortable for you. Scorpio energy for Cancer actually takes the pressure off. For some people, Scorpio can build pressure, but there's familiarity in Scorpio energy for Cancer, as it is your fellow water sign, also your fellow clod sign, and your fellow shell. Like, what is it called? Cancers have shells, but Scorpions have, I forget what it's called. It's like some type of exoskeleton is what I'm thinking of. So there's like a similarity between Cancer and Scorpio. So they each tend to do well in each other's time. So getting to the end of the month is a big thing for you. Don't get too discouraged through the beginning and just kind of finish strong, and you'll go into November feeling a lot better. I also feel Sagittarius time for you is pretty special too. We just got to get through Libra time, make some of these decisions, weigh out who needs to be here, and move forward from there. All right. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut the cards for you, and we will get into the tarot portion of your reading. So I just want to see general energies for Cancer, general energies helping them to navigate the balancing act that they're going through right now is what I would call it, and just spotlighting the general archetypes around them during this month. Okay, so this tarot reading is going to look like what I typically do on my channel, which is just week by week with a central theme. So yes, let's see what's coming up in the first week for Cancer. Judgment, oh my gosh, starting it out really strong, rooted down by Strength reversed. Okay, that's an interesting combination. I'm going to turn the light on to make sure you guys can see really well. Okay. That's pretty obvious to me and pretty clear. And basically, because things are going to be obvious and clear for you in the first week of October, again, this is very clearly showing you where you feel like you're not strong enough, where you feel like you're not developed enough, where you feel like things are not clear enough. That's going to be very clear. It's kind of an oxymoron, but sometimes we can be a little bit blurry. We don't really know where the issue is in our life. There's a indistinguishable nature of like, what's going wrong. I don't know what to do. That's not going to be the case for you. In the first week of October, it's going to be really clear what isn't working out right. And for those of you who've really been trying over the last few months, through the retrogrades in the summer, to do this already, this is going to be an easier transformational time. This is the result of what you've taken on this year. This is the transformational result of the choices you've made coming in the first week. And that's big. It's two major arcana cards together. It's a memorable week. It's a powerfully memorable transformational week, and judgment is upright. So there might be some kind of proclamation, or there might be some kind of authority towards adherence in your life. So you might really be forced to adhere to something there. This could look like, maybe, I'm hearing foreclosure for some of you, and that sounds really negative and like a really bad word, but it's not even necessarily like, we think of like mortgages and foreclosure. It's like the energy of a foreclosure, like being forced to leave something, forced to vacate something. Even like eviction, and don't let those words freak you out. They're just what I'm hearing, and it's probably not so much the case for most of you that it's either of those two direct things, but it's like the energy of that. So maybe you're feeling like you're being pushed away from your home, or pushed away from that which gives you comfort. Maybe you feel like you can't just stay around, and it's probably coming from the self level too. Like maybe you feel like, I've got to separate myself from this thing that makes me feel uncomfortable. I've got to vacate this. I've got to leave something behind. But you're questioning yourself if you're strong enough. Strength reversed is rooting down judgment. So this transformation is marred with questions about the strength to actually do it. So let's see what's coming up in the second week and get more insight. Page of Pentacles reversed, rooted down by the Empress reversed. So quite a few reversals so far coming up this month. That's okay. It's really, again, pointing to the fact that judgment is upright, and none of these things can distract from the transformation at hand. Maybe you've got this project that you've been working on that's been such a labor of love. That's not distracting from the transformation you have to go through. Maybe you have this relationship that is really comfortable, or this environment that's comfortable. It's not enough to distract from the transformation that needs to happen. I think in the second week, you're going to see that it doesn't actually have to be as expensive as you thought. So maybe this change that you need to make, for some of you, it may be moving. For others of you, it may be, setting up a boundary from like toxic family. I could see that for some of you. And you're really worried about how difficult it's going to be, or how much it's going to cost, whether we're talking time, money, energy. It's not as much as you think. Page of Pentacles reversed is always a sign. I always hear it as, it's not as much as you think it is. It's not as hard as you think it is. It's not as costly as you think it is. Again, the Empress reversed can also be a sign that we're like worried about the cost of something, or we're worried about the upkeep of something. And that feels mostly to be maybe like an instinctive, security or insurance, like an instinctive insurance that like, okay, I don't want to get into something unless I know that I can make it super profitable, or I know that it can be, 10 times better than what I have right now, if we're moving or if we're making a change, whatever it is. And if it's not directly that, maybe it feels unattainable. So it is attainable. It is in your grasp, Cancer. You just have to make sure that you're not cutting yourself off at the knees to attain it. Okay, and in the third week, Cancers, you've got the Knight of Cups rooted down by Ten of Cups reversed. So we switch into the emotional mode in the third week. As we start to move into Scorpio time of the year, we're getting into the emotional aspects of this transformation. For some of you, there has to be acceptance here in the third week. I think that pursuing acceptance, pursuing, a feeling of, I'm okay regardless of which direction this goes. I have myself, I have my pursuits, I have my goals, I have me. Really relying on that is going to give you a much stronger sense of security. Because I'm feeling also that there's maybe people around you that are a bit secretive or not telling you everything, and you don't need to worry so much about that because it just leads to like a paranoia or something. It just leads to shooting yourself in the foot if you're hyper concerned with the truth of other people. Do watch out for that in the third week. Scorpio time for everybody will kind of cast an investigative tone or a like desire to figure out the truth. And here's the thing, you're going to figure out the truth during Scorpio season. Maybe even before, maybe the truth even comes in here. Judgment can oftentimes look like a big dose of the truth. So that may have already happened, but one way or another, you're all going to really see clearly what the undebatable truth of your momentum is, where you're going, where you're headed, what you want to accomplish. It's all really coming through for you. More specifically about the third week, though, don't face a stale relationship with an investigative mind. I feel like that combination of things is not going to do you well. If Ten of Cups has gone reverse, which again this represents, white picket fence, positive, easy, model relationship type of thing. It's reversed, so it feels like maybe the relationship. This can also be the relationship with self. It just depends, whether you're single or whether you're coupled. And it doesn't even mean that if you are coupled that, your relationship's going sour. But I do think that it means for all of you that the relationship is not maybe predictable. I think that there's an unpredictable aspect to your relationships in general right now. Ten of Cups can also be family relationships too. It's not just love relationships. Especially like brother-sister relationships. I see that a lot with Ten of Cups. So there's an unpredictability that you might feel encouraged to investigate into, but I really encourage you to, what would I say? I think you have to face this situation with empathy towards other people, but also make sure you're respecting their privacy at the same time. And Cancer's usually very good with this type of thing. That's kind of Cancer's specialty, is that middle ground there. But it just felt like it needed to be said. Also, are people respecting your privacy? I think that the third week, there's something about privacy here, and something about, feeling respected within that. So, are people prying too much? Is it time to reestablish those boundaries, or is it time to maybe have some time in solitude away from the prying eyes of other people? I think you need to recharge and rejuvenate one way or another in that week. Week number 4. King of Wands reversed, rooted down by the Sun reversed. So this reading is full of reversals. And what does that mean? It means that most of your karmic lessons and your karmic experiences this month are channeling through in roundabout and more unexpected ways. It means that it's hard to really control everything around you right now. It's hard to really predict what's going to happen thoroughly, which is okay, because what that ultimately says is that your karmic lesson deals with acceptance and deals with trusting the sometimes unclear path of life. It's so supported here in this 4th week to really mold a creative project into something you enjoy and something that motivates you. You might feel like you're not seeing the complete truth of something. The Sun reversed, again, this deals with honesty and the truth. You have 2 truth cards, and a few cards that deal with maybe not trusting or not feeling like you've been told the truth. So I'll just put it right out there. Some of you are lied to. Some of you are feeling betrayed. This isn't a huge betrayal, but this is where it's so if you took maybe someone cheating on their significant other, I don't see it as that type of betrayal. I don't see it as something really big and flashing in your face. It's a subtle, almost unspoken, what is it called? Lie by omissions. That's what I'm feeling. If you are lied to, Cancer, it's more of small things that aren't really huge deals, perhaps. And then for some of you, maybe it is a huge deal. But it's the feeling of not knowing the whole story, or not knowing people's motivations, not knowing the reason why people around you are acting the way that they are. And that state of feeling perplexed by that is forcing you to make some changes. Because you need to know you're a cardinal sign, which does mean control sign. that's not a bad thing. Some signs need to be shaping the world, and some signs need to be filling in the gaps, and you are a shaper, cardinal sign. Capricorn Cancer axis it is about being in charge a lot of the time, and a lot of people don't know that about Cancer. People think of Cancer as like a subtle, passive, empathetic, soothing, soft energy, and it is, but it's a very duplicitous in this way because it's a cardinal sign, which means that it strives for control, it leads the pack, it is a pioneer, and it is the person that others defer to. Yet it uses that in a soft, soothing, and connective way. It's not the same as like an Aries or a Capricorn or even Libra in the sense that they like really operate through a very like open, obvious power structure. Cancer is more subtle, and because of that, people don't recognize this quality within it, and that is one of the reasons why Cancer experiences so much chaos, is because they are actually a control sign, and once people start to catch on to that, they feel deceived, or they feel like they can't control that at all because it's not obvious in the way that the other cardinal signs are. So, tangents aside, Cancer, this is basically the dynamic that you're dealing with this month, and the key to overcoming that dynamic with a sense of like personal integrity is to be honest, okay? We're not hiding things. We're not concealing things. We're not investigating people secretly. We're not occluding the truth so that we can maybe see it. Face this month with honesty, face this month with transparency, and you will gain a lot of respect. Creativity is important here too. I don't want you guys losing. You have a thread of some kind of creative project left that if you really prioritize this maybe more petty truth lie game, that's going to dissipate away. This Jupiter in Sagittarius is one of the most creative cycles within a 12-year period, and everybody can really hone their creative talents here. Don't waste that energy on learning the subtle complexities of others, because here we get into the journey with the self that Cancer is always navigating through. And what we see is, okay, am I afraid to be with myself? Am I afraid to face the battles that only relate to me? So am I covering that up with a incessant knowledge to understand somebody else more, to understand somebody else's motivations, to understand why somebody did this to me? That sounds pretty scorpionic, right? That sounds kind of like something a Scorpio does, and it is, because here's that similarity between Cancer and Scorpio, which are more so like sister signs in the zodiac than any other two signs. And we are going into Scorpio season, so I feel that is why that message is channeling through in that way. You are becoming a little bit scorpionified, if that's a word. I doubt it is, but we'll call it, Scorpio season coming at the end of the month. Scorpionified Cancer. Maybe that's what I'll title your reading. Scorpionified Cancer really has to strive to know thoroughly what it needs, and not, acquiesce to these chaotic energies of other people. And acquiescing to those things really does look like prioritizing even what those people might be trying to hide from you. If you know that people are hiding things from you, give an ultimatum. You would be shocked at how strong like a Cancer's ultimatum, especially towards the end of the month, could be. Don't act through passive aggression. Cancer, you're one of the most passive-aggressive signs in the zodiac if you don't think about it. And sometimes y'all don't realize this. And, I can say this because I have Cancer in my chart too. I'm a Scorpio, but I have a lot of Cancer energy. And so I'm not just picking y'all out. I've only really had good experiences with Cancer. I'm not picking on Cancer because I think that, I've got like a pent-up aggression towards Cancer. But y'all can be passive-aggressive if you don't watch out. Really care for that this month. If you need to make somebody aware of something not being good, do it directly. Do not do it through things that are like not related, because that really turns people off of you. Like when Cancer, let's say, you feel like you're being lied to or something by your significant other, so you channel that out through talking about how their appearance is like going down the drain or something, and that becomes the dialogue that begins the healing process for your coping from the lying or something. Cancer will channel its qualms through through like parallels, which is extremely off-putting to other people. And it is one of the reasons that Cancer can end up alone, because it's so off-putting to other people. I love you guys. Be direct. You know, you have a lot of power. This is a power month for everybody. This is a power month for every sign, especially these water signs as we move into Scorpio season. So your power needs to come out in an obvious, direct way. If someone's lying to you, ask them, did you lie to me about that? It was what you said true? Was da-da-da-da-da true? Just point blank. And be comforting. Don't be like, don't really attach pressure to it, because that makes people want to lie, especially if they're already lying or something. And you'll know when they respond, how they respond to that. You know, and if they get upset at you, like for saying like, why would you ask me if I'm lying? You know I wouldn't lie to you. Then you kind of also, it shows their true colors. You know what I mean? It's a win-win situation. And this isn't about paranoia, Cancer. This isn't about a paranoid experience or, you know, be like, oh my gosh, everybody's lying to me. I'm going to ask everybody in my life. It's about knowing, you know, that you've been lied to. And, you know, it doesn't have to be lying. Knowing that, you know, I'm trying to think of another example just off the top of my head. Knowing that people are denying you what you deserve because they think you're so nice or soft. Like, oh, I owe Cancer all of this money. Or, oh, you know, I told Cancer that I would help them, you know, take their parents to the doctor because they did that for me when mine were ill. But they're so nice, they're really not going to ever call me out on not following through on that. So I'm not going to do that. This type of thing has to be addressed, Cancer. Like, you can't, on one hand, you can't just let people, you know, do that to you where they promise you something, or they, or you do them a favor and they're like, yeah, I'll get you back. And then they rely on your kind, soft nature to like never actually get you back or try to trick you. That has to be directly confronted this month, and not passive aggressively confronted. And it's a challenge, I know. The other option is to start forging new realities, new paths. That's really the main thing this month. And that's why I'm sort of clarifying that, you know, the passive aggressive or like bottling things up, repressive tendency as a coping mechanism is not going to bring you anything, because you need to be making new paths. You need creative projects, and that type of thing just uses up so much energy. So either directly confront people, if you're having problems, if you're having people problems this month. And that's what the last like 10 minutes of this reading is like, if you're having people problems. The other thing you can't do is, if you're not having problems, like let this reading inspire you to have problems with people. We have to really be careful about that, because again, these readings are going to be seen by so many, that everybody's situation is different. But yeah, you just, if you're having people problems, confront it and move along, you know, see people's true colors through confronting it in a respectful and integrity-based way, and then make your decisions, which should be quite easy decisions after that, with that knowledge. Let's see your central theme for October, Cancer. 7 of Pentacles. It's perfect. This is one of your minor arcana cards, actually, because this deals with reflection. It deals with quiet contemplation. It deals with making choices. You know, you've built these 7 different things up. Which one will you choose to take to the top? You know, you have maybe these 7 relationships. Which ones are you moving forward onto the next path with? Which ones are you going to allow to wilt away? These are the questions that you have to ask yourself in October, because November, and to a degree the end of October, will bring that wilting about one way or another. And what I hate to see for Cancer is for them to get like worried about that choice or worried about that decision-making process and lose control over what ends up wilting. Okay, again, you're a control sign. And we have a lot of, you know, preconceived notions about what control means. And control can be a negative thing, especially, you know, in the spiritual community and like the psychological communities. We think of control freak. We think of people, oh, they're a control freak, they're bad. Yes, control can be a very, very toxic and negative thing. But when I say you're a control sign, it's a different meaning of the word control. Again, we're talking about people who want individually to really mold their lives around them, as there is also a personality type that wants their life to mold around them without so much being involved with it with their own 2 hands. You know, this is sort of the distinction I'm making there. You are a control sign in the sense that you want to mold your environment with your own effort. and there's nothing wrong with that. But you've got people around you, or a lot of you have people around you who don't know that or don't understand that or find that threatening or something or intimidating. And you've got to deal with that through reflection and move forward. And embrace the people who fit in with that well. Two control signs can get along well. You can work together on molding your environments. Or can you maybe, if you're like a boss or if you own a company, like start setting up environments for your employees that make them thrive, like things like that, like molding environments for other people that give them good circumstances, that give back to them, not controlling other people's lives. Again, the English language will betray us a little bit if we don't really distinguish what we mean by control. Not controlling other people's lives or making other people adhere to a certain way of living, but giving an option of help and molded experience for other people that they can use to make their lives better with their own autonomy. All right. Again, it's kind of a tangent, but I really think control is the key word for Cancer this month, and honing in on their own healthy sense of control and clarifying that, I want to build my own reality. I want to build my own path. I want to mold my own experiences in life. Be proud of that. Clarify that. And see who shows their true colors when you make that clear. And you'll kind of start to really know, as your whole entire month deals with kind of sifting through all of the possibilities, you'll know clearly what you need. Okay, Cancers, it's an incredible month for you. You're coming out on the other side of this month with a lot more power and a lot more control of yourself and your life. I hope that doesn't worry you in any way, and I hope that you are ready to build up and let go of what doesn't feel right anymore. So anyway, Cancers, much love to you guys. If you wanted to pre-order moon symbols and learn more about your moon sign, the whole entire book is really good for Cancer because y'all are ruled by the moon. So it kind of helps to think about like each time of the month and each time of the lunar cycle and how that impacts you, because it's going to be like exponentially strong in you as a moon ruled person. So you can pre-order that or order that if it's already out when you're watching this below. Also, if you guys wanted private readings, they'll probably fill up for October pretty quickly, but that link is below too. And I'm trying to think of what else. Social media. If you like my bracelets or my ring, it's by a brand called 3 Key Jewelry. It's not sponsored, but I have links below for you guys. I think that's cool. It's Damascus. It's very empowering. I feel like I feel that very Martian authoritarian like control energy, and it's definitely been channeling for the cardinal signs in that way. Very empowering. But yeah, so that's linked below. And what else? Yeah, if you guys wanted to reach out to me, it's all there. Hit that thumbs up if you love tarot, if you loved this reading, and be sure to subscribe and share. Your comments mean the world to me. Let me know how it resonated. I use your feedback to ensure the readings get better and better. So anyway, Cancers, thank you so much. I'm wishing you a lot of love and light for this incredible month ahead. We'll be talking in November. Much love. Bye.